Hello? Yeah. Or is that too complicated? Like you would now share your presentation or something? I'll do it like this. These will be first. Yeah, that will be fine. Hello, good morning. By the way, I'm sorry for being slightly late, but I'm Portuguese, so this is 15 minutes after the planned schedule, so we are right on time. This is the Portuguese way. So everything is perfect. So welcome to the 26th edition of the EvoStar conference. To give you welcome to this university and also to Brno, we have the Dean of the Faculty of Information Technology, Dr. Pavel Zmich. I won't try it. So a round of applause for him. He's going to give a very brief speech.
Thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, at the premises of Faculty of Information Technology, Brno University of Technology. My name is Pavel Zemčík. Sorry for the surname. And I was asked by Lukáš Sekanina, who is the main organizer on our side, to make some small propaganda about our university. So let me play some video first, if it works. So this is about the university as a whole.
Determination, courage. You may think that technology and emotions have nothing in common, but look at how this university started. 4 determined professors established Brno University of Technology for just 47 enthusiastic students. 100 years later, more than 20,000 young people study here, and we have become the largest university of technology in the Czech Republic. We are proud that BUT has become an internationally acknowledged institution of education, science, and research. Being home to many globally acclaimed companies, Brno is often called the Silicon Valley of Europe. Tens of thousands of students live, study, and work in this city. It's quite energizing. With close cooperation with international universities and corporate partners, our students work in actual real-life scientific and commercial projects. But BUT isn't just about knowledge. We love sports. Competition is in our DNA. What we don't have to compete for is living space. We've got room for everyone. Within our 8 faculties, we see the world from the perspectives of technology, science, economics, and the arts. The multidisciplinary focus of the Faculty of Architecture combines rigorous architectural training and practice-oriented activity in urban planning. We encourage students to understand the building environment and all of its aspects, from the technological to the cultural, aesthetic, and environmental, in order to explore specialized questions and to articulate diverse ideas. The Faculty of Business and Management emphasizes development of strategic and conceptual thinking. The broad spectrum of study programs ranges from system engineering to corporate management and finance. Within the management program, students are trained to occupy middle and higher managerial positions in a variety of organizations and companies. The Faculty of Chemistry provides a state-of-the-art base for education and research in chemistry and related fields, including physical chemistry, bioengineering, and microbiology. We enable students to explore the fascinating world of this fast-paced discipline. We're especially proud of the Material Research Center, which has earned high praise in bioplastics. The Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Communication is strongly focused on research and has established 2 high-tech research centers, the Center of Research and Utilization of Renewable Energy and the Center of Sensor, Information and Communication Systems. We are also strong believers in popularizing of science and inspiring technical education of children. The Faculty of Civil Engineering is the largest faculty of Brno University of Technology. It provides top-quality training in civil engineering and affiliated fields such as construction technology, geodesy and cartography, municipal engineering, architecture of building construction, and much more. The Advanced Materials, Structures and Technology Science Center focuses on research and development. Studies at the Faculty of Fine Arts combines classical disciplines with advanced technology. It is a young and dynamic faculty whose academic staff are professionally active, respected, and award-winning artists. We have been collaborating with the School of Visual Art in New York on exhibition projects in both New York and Czech Republic. Security of IT and IT in security, Industry 4.0, supercomputing or big data mining. These are just some of the leading research domains of the academic and research staff at the Faculty of Information Technology. As a part of the IT for Innovation Center of Excellence, the faculty's Research Center of Information Technology is connected to the national supercomputer called Solomon. The Faculty of Mechanical Engineering focuses mostly on practice-oriented education. With cooperation with prominent Czech and international companies, our students have a unique opportunity to be a part of real-world research projects and to gain advantage on the labor market. The NetMe Center serves as a prime contact point for large-scale industrial and public projects. You can also study at the Institute of Forensic Engineering. It's the only institution in the Czech Republic providing education in forensic disciplines, such as traffic accident investigation and forensic environmental risk assessment. BUT is a large contributor in the research center CTEC, the Central European Institute of Technology. It specializes in advanced materials, microtechnologies, and nanotechnologies. Our world revolves around technology, but we know it's the people that's most important. We believe that the 100-year tradition and courage to innovate are the best foundation for the future. Join us on our way forward.
So thanks very much for your attention. Now, this was a video about Brno University of Technology. Few words about Brno. You will see Brno, so I will not talk about Brno much, but one thing to mention is that Brno is quite a university city. Out of the population of approximately 400,000, we have about 70,000 students in Brno. There are other universities, we are the oldest, but there are even Masaryk universities, our, let's say, partner university, which is even bigger than us, and then we have several smaller ones. As you could see, Brno University of Technology is spread among several locations in Brno. We have the honor of using this old monastery that you can see and very closely to which we are now located. The monastery is one of the oldest buildings in Brno, just to mention, originally built in 1375. Now, our faculty, I'll skip Brno because you are here. Our faculty has been founded in 2002, so we just celebrated 20 years of its existence by subdivision from electrical engineering, similarly to the events happening at many universities worldwide. The tradition of teaching of computer science and related fields started actually in this place, in this monastery, already in 1964. So the tradition of teaching computer technology is much older here. Currently, the faculty has approximately 2,500 students. So we have like 1/8 of the students total from Brno University of Technology, and we provide education in bachelor, master, and PhD levels. This is the structure of education, just if you're interested. So we have, unlike the US tradition, we have 3 years bachelor and 2 years master, which is more like following the Bologna standards and the European standards. And our PhD program is nominally 4 years. Just to briefly mention structure of funding, we get approximately 45% of our funding from the state through let's say, direct budgeting for education. Just over 50% we get through research, and we have some contractual research, research grants, and we have some contractual research with companies through which we get approximately 10% of funding. So we are quite much research oriented. And on the slide, you can also see some examples of our partners that we collaborate with. Another set of partners, these are actually our, let's say, contractual partners for the university. And very briefly to mention the structure of the faculty, we have only 4 departments. The subdivision among the departments, the academics are spread among the departments just by their research interests. So we are fairly, let's say, flat organization in that sense. And we do not have departments of like physics, mathematics, and so on. So everything else than IT, we outsource in teaching. So we have this nice structure of only IT specialists spread among these 4 departments. And you saw this already in the video. We have access to supercomputer in Ostrava, which is located approximately 150 kilometers from us. And we have some nice laboratories. And we support startups. So we have good startup programs for students. And this is just an advert, if you like. Send your students to our summer school, which is happening in July. And the information about the summer school is located on our web page. And we are only very short in time, so I'll stop here and give floor back to Lukáš. So welcome to our faculty, and good luck to your conference, and sorry for being late and long. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to switch the presentation. He's going to switch. I don't do anything here. In desktop. Yeah. I just play it, right? Okay, so thanks a lot. As you know, we are slightly late, so I'm going to try to be as fast as possible and focus on the real important details. And at this time, my students are laughing because I talk for a long time, but I'll try to be fast. So as you know, EvoStar comprises 4 conferences, which are EuroGP, EvoMozart, Evo Applications, and EvoCop, and also a joint track between EvoApps and EuroGP, which is the evolutionary machine learning track. And since 2 or 3 years ago, we also have late-breaking abstracts. Thanks to all the organizers and so on. Let's keep this fast. Okay, so just a few statistics. We had some problems in the past with the decrease in the number of submissions. Then there was COVID. Then I think that was like 20 years ago or something like that. I lost track of time. The key point here, now we are doing good. We stabilized, we recovered the numbers, and we didn't suffer from coming out of COVID. So everything is going as planned, and obviously we want to improve in the future. In terms of engagement in the social web and also Google website views and so on, the numbers have stabilized over the years, and now we are consistent. We dropped on Facebook, but then again, Facebook is dying. It's more their problem than ours. We need to improve on tweets, unless Elon Musk decides to do something stupid. So, you know, there are things that are out of our control, but I think we are doing good on this regard. This year, we have several invited speakers. The first speaker that is going to talk in a little bit is Gregor Mendel.
No, not Gregor Mendel, Marek Vasha, and he's going to talk about Gregor Mendel, of course. Evelyn Luton is going to talk on Friday, if she can. She is having personal problems, namely his mother, with her mother, so she is not going to be able to attend to EvoStar, but hopefully she will be able to give the talk remotely on Friday. So we also have an additional speaker, which is Susan Stepney. She is the recipient of the Julian Francis Miller Award. She is the first recipient of this award, and she's going to give us a talk also. Logistics. You need to take basically the best way to do this is take a picture of this slide. It's very easy. We are on the ground floor. This is room A. Room B and C are also on the ground floor. The room D is one floor above us. The coffee breaks are going to be on the ground floor. It's very easy on your left or on your right, depending the way you are facing. It's not very helpful. The lunches will be on the same place. The poster session is going to be on the corridor on the first floor. The banquet is at Hotel International. You need to find your way there. It's a 3-minute walk. It's not that bad. Okay, so Wi-Fi. Again, take a picture. You have done this before, right? So in principle, everybody has Ethereum. If not, you can use another network. We have, in terms, again, for the picture, you need to be faster. Yeah, okay. So you missed it again, Gabriela. Yeah. Okay, got it? Okay, we have 4 parallel sessions. On Friday, we only have 3 parallel sessions. We have 4 rooms here in Brno, with the rooms that I just described, and 4 Zoom sessions. The links are hopefully on the program. People that like to Zoom, please keep your video and your mic off. We are recording this session, so also take that into considerations. The passwords are given every morning, and the share is given also permission. And for the questions, raise your hand. And if you are sharing sessions, please remember to repeat the questions for the ones that are listening online. That helps a lot. So that's pretty standard. The poster session is Wednesday. It's going to be on site from 6 to 8. We also have a virtual room in Gathertown. That's the name of the place, right? So it's for 25 people, but we can extend it a little bit. And by the way, this year, this is a change from previous year. The best poster will be chosen by an evaluation panel. To prevent the Portuguese to vote, everybody votes on the Portuguese, and the Portuguese always win. Either the Portuguese or the Italians. It's how it used to go. So you can no longer do that. Okay. The banquet is on Thursday in Hotel International. I think that's also easy. And then we have the closing session. That's going to be Friday at 13. That's where we are going to announce the best paper awards and other announcements, like next year location for EvoStar. Hopefully we decide that by Friday, and many other interesting things. We also have an excursion, optional. It departs at 15:15. So if you want to take part in that, please be there on time. And if you are on the AGM meeting, then you need to hurry. Yeah. 10 euros. We have just discounted not 12 euros, but 10. There is no inflation. Only if you buy the ticket today and if you give 2 euros to Anna. Okay. Instructions. I'll skip this because we simply don't have the time. the instructions for presenters is present your paper. It's as easy as it goes. There are best paper awards for EuroGP, EvoCop, EvoMozart, and EvoApps. All the nominees for Best Paper Award will present in the same session, and this is decided by vote, and we announce the results on Friday. This year, we have 15 outstanding students. Congratulations to the outstanding students. And we also have lots of student activities. This began yesterday. It was a wonderful event. Thanks for all the students that are participating and organizing this. It was really fun. Let's give them a round of applause. Thanks a lot. We also have the student workshop on Thursday and the Great Scavenger Hunt, which it's for students, but if you are not a student, you can also participate and hopefully win. We need to demonstrate to the students that we can outperform them. Yeah, I'm competitive. Other activities. So just some important remarks. Aniko is organizing, is editing the journal associated with species and with EvoStar. We had one new issue in 2020, 4 issues in 2021, more are to come in 2023. So raise your hand, Aniko. If you want to submit to the journal, if you have questions and so on, please talk to Aniko. By the way, thanks a lot for the effort. And scholarships, Species is awarding scholarships for students every year. So far, we have awarded 16 scholarships. The scholarships pay the traveling. Basically, we pay 900 euros per month, up to 3 months for you to visit another lab. This works in 2 ways. First, those institutions must propose a plan, and the deadline is the 15th of May to propose a plan. Then the students and postgrads and so on apply. That will be until the 30th of June, and apply. And then there is a choice made by a committee that is chaired by Christine. Where is Christine? Over there, Christine. So once again, if you have questions, if you have doubts, please talk to Christine, that is really commanding all this effort. Yeah. This has been a wonderful experience for Species, and hopefully also for the students. Papers are being published, papers are coming out of these new collaborations and so on. And this is something that as president of Species, I'm really happy that is working very well. Yeah, also. Most important, we work a lot, and we also work during the summer. There is a summer school. We still don't have the dates. This is from last year's summer school. As you can see, nobody is having fun. Everybody's focusing on the work. The location is also appropriate for lots of work. So this year, we did this for the first time last year. We have done summer school before in the times of EvoNet, but we stopped for a long time. We did it last year for the first time as Species. I was convinced it wasn't going to work, but Anna somehow made it work. It was a fantastic experience, I've been told. And we are doing it in the exact same spot next year. We decided to keep the same location and so on, because the prices are very, very good. So again, we don't have dates for this, but it's going to be in the beginning of September, right? In the beginning of September, dates to be disclosed. And again, you need to apply as soon as possible. Otherwise, we run out of places. Okay, so don't apply now unless you have time traveling capabilities, because the form online is for last year. So don't do that. Okay, but that's coming up really quickly. And more things. And sorry, this is a lot. So we also have the general meeting of species Friday at 2:15. And species is the society that is in charge of organizing EvoStar, but also all these other activities like the summer school, the scholarships, and so on. Everyone that participates in EvoStar is by default a species member, so you are all welcome to attend and participate. And last but not the least, let's thank the people that made this possible, to our wonderful publicity team, João Correia and Sergio. Let's give them a sharp clap. And the EvoStar Task Force, Anna, of course, Francisco. Is Francisco here? Not yet, he disappeared. And the Nuno Lourenço. Okay, so again, round of applause. And last but not least, of course, the wonderful local team, Lucas Secanina and Giri Jaros. Giri, okay, close enough. Thanks a lot, and all the helpers. Thanks a lot. And that's all from my side. So I will give the floor to Lucas to introduce our keynote. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I attended my first EvoStar conference. Actually, it was EvoNet 21 years ago. And now, after all these years, I'm very, very happy that we can welcome the EvoStar community to Brno. So thank you very much for coming again. And also, I know that Brno is deeply connected with Augustinian abbot Gregor Mendel. And he's known as father of genetics. And the first keynote is devoted to Gregor Mendel. And it's my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Marek Vácha. Just a few things about Dr. Vácha. He's a natural scientist. He's also a Roman Catholic priest and head of the Department of Medical Ethics at the Third Faculty of Medicine of Charles University in Prague. He obtained a master's degree in molecular biology and genetics from Masaryk University. Then he studied theology in Olomouc and Brussels, becoming a Roman Catholic priest in 1996. And in 2006, he defended his PhD thesis dealing with ethics, genetics, and evolutionary psychology. And in addition to all these roles and activities, Dr. Vácha is a scout. He participated in 2 expeditions to Antarctica, wrote over 20 books. He works as a consultant to the Minister of Health of the Czech Republic, and he prepared several very successful TV series about bioethics, Christianity, and spirituality. So I'm pretty sure that Dr. Vácha is the best speaker about Mendel, actually in front of a group of IT experts sitting in a former monastery. So the floor is yours.
So thank you very much. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased and very honored to be here and to have the possibility to deliver a speech. And thank you very much to you, to Lukáš Sekanina, and to Dean of the Faculty, Professor Zemčík. I think that the topic of our lecture is much more important and interesting than my personality, because I think that we have 2 fathers of modern biology. And in my opinion, well, I'm coming from Brno, but in my opinion, the second father of modern biology is Charles Darwin. And the first is Gregor. And I would try to explain to you why. Well, We have just 45 minutes here, so I must be very, very, very fast. Yeah? We don't know much about his personal life. Yeah, there are tens, maybe even hundreds of biographies of Charles Darwin. We have just one biography of Gregor Mendel, written by Hugo Iltis, the Jewish German living in time in Brno in Moravia, but nothing more. So we really don't know about his inner life. We have his correspondence, almost nothing. Yeah, we don't have his sermons, etc. We do know that he was very introvert, and well, I would like to emphasize in this lecture just I would like to emphasize just two take-home message. The first, right people in right time in the right place. Most of you, or maybe all of you, are teachers, so you are working for the future. You don't see the success of your pupils, of your students, but nonetheless, we must invest to our students because we are doing something very good for the future. And the second, we can learn from the example of Gregor Mendel to think completely out of the box, to join together the things in time from really different universes. Well, I've been 2009 in a couple of days in London, and because Darwin is born February 12th, 1889, and of course this is the father of modern biology, and whole the London and whole the Great Britain had a big fireworks concerning the Darwin's anniversary. I would like to see something like that in our time. So today's many. Very briefly, what we learn in secondary school, the second life, I will maybe skip the life, and maybe the most important part of this lecture is the third, why Father Gregor is the founder of modern biology. Maybe for you would be very interesting to compare Mendel and Darwin, and the fifth point, genome of Father Gregor, because the genome of Father Gregor Mendel has been sequenced 1 year ago. So what we learn in high school, something not extremely interesting. Well, just the poor boy from the northern part of Moravia, from Silesia, born in Hinčice in Silesia, maybe July 20, maybe July 22, we don't know for sure. And well, his teacher from basic school, Thomas Makita, and his parish priest, Johannes Schreiber, persuaded the father Anton Mendel and the mother Rosina Mendel to let Mendel go to school. He studied secondary school in Lipník, then to Opava, then he moved to Olomouc for taking some studies from philosophy, and 1843 he joined the Augustinian monastery in this town in Brno. And what we know is that well, in February 8 and March 8 he delivered two lectures, Versuche über Pflanzenhybriden, the experiments with plant hybrids, with no applause. No one understood. No one realized what happened. The next year he published this Versuche über Pflanzenhybriden. 1868 he was elected abbot of Altbrien Monastery, and well, he died 1884 January 6. Nothing special, nothing extremely interesting. Well, Gregor Mendel, 1900, he has been rediscovered. Three guys, one from the Netherlands, one from Germany, and one from Austria. Erich von Czermak from Austria, Karl Korens from Germany, and Igor de Vries from Netherlands, rediscovered Mendel work. They realized that there is something extremely important, something special, and the genetics, as we know, genetics has been kicked off, but it was 35 years after Mendel's speech, and 16 years after Mendel's death. So, well, that's all. And in secondary school, well, we will learn some of the Mendel's experiment. He crossbreed the peas. You can see in this picture the pea plant with the purple flowers and the pea plant with the white flowers, and you can see the first filial generations, and this is the uniformly purple. He cross-pollinated, self-pollinated this piece, and in the second generation, he obtained the 75% of the purple flowers and 25% of the white flowers. It's interesting, but it remains to be seen why Mendel is the father of modern biology. It's maybe interesting, but nothing more. Mendel coined the new terms, dominant trait and the recessive trait. And well, this is his research methods. He cross-pollinated the pea plants with the paintbrush. He moved the pollen grains to the all side of the flower, and he with the help of the scissors, or the stamens he removed. Well, it's interesting, but as well nothing special. Yeah. Well, I will skip Mendel's law because maybe you know from your textbook 3 Mendel's laws, but he didn't invent it. Yeah, Mendel's laws is the idea of the 20s, from the 20th century, the idea of some researchers or some teachers, but Mendel himself didn't invent any kind of laws. He just did his experimental work. Well, I will skip another pictures. And I would like to show this picture. Well, now we know that we have 2 alleles for each trait. One I am taking from my mother, and the second from my father. Now we know it for sure, but we will see that in Mendel's time, no one knew it for sure. And well, Mendel's life. Mendel's life is important. Yeah, he started to be in Augustine monastery in Staré Brno in Albrine, and he has became a Catholic priest, and he started to work in the hospital. U svaté Anny is still working hospital, but it was a complete disaster. Mendel was very sensitive, maybe with certain anxiety. He didn't stand to look to blood, to look to the wounds of the patients, etc. And he needed help himself, and instead of patients. So his abbot Cyril Knapp taking him back to the monastery and sent him to the Znaim, to small town in the south of Moravia, to teach in secondary school. And in Znaim, he has taught the Greek language, Latin, German, and mathematics. With big success. Mendel was a very, very, very good teacher. What we do know is that he has been loved by his students and admired by his colleagues, with one big problem. Mendel didn't have a degree. He's been just a monk. So the headmaster of the secondary school, gymnasium, and his abbot Cyril Knapp sent him to Vienna, to the big university, to do some degrees. Gregor Mendel tried to do it twice in his life, in 1815 and 1856, and he failed. Twice. It was great disaster. So he is the researcher without degree. We do know why he has failed in his first attempt, and we don't know almost nothing about his second attempt in 1856. But it's highly probable hypothesis that Mendel in 1856 knew very well that you will take 50 50% of your genes from mother and 50% from father. And maybe it was the reason why he has been fired, because in time, the general idea was that you will take everything 100% from your father and nothing from mother. I will speak about it later. So Mendel knew some important things. Well, in the circle, you can see the gametes. The big P is for purple. The small p is for not purple. So small p and small p is a plant with no capacity to create the purple flower. So it remains white. And if you have just one big P, the flower will be purple. Well, in first generation, it's purple flowers, and you will see that in the second generation, you will have 3 purple flower and one white flower. It's a phenotypic ratio is 3:1, but genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. It's very simple mathematics. It's nothing difficult. Yeah. So even the people in basic school can understand very well. No reason why would Gregor Mendel would be the father of modern biology. Nothing special. Well, phenotype versus genotype, etc., etc., etc. It's really very easy. If you are sitting in the secondary school, you can learn it. It's interesting, but it's nothing special. Well, just flowers, just some big piece and small piece, etc. Now, in the second lesson in secondary school, you will see the so-called dihybridism. So far we observe just one trait. It's a flower. It's a color of the flower. Now we are seeing the color of the seed and the shape of the seed, and so 2 traits. Well, if you narrow your eyes now and look just to the colors, you will see 12 yellow and 4 green. So it's the same ratio, 3:1. And if you narrow your eyes one again and see not colors, but just the shape, you will see 12 round and 4 wrinkled. The wrinkled ones is here, and here. Yeah. So it's the 3:1. So the phenotypic ratio is 9:3 to 3:1, and genotypic ratio is, if you will, 1:2 to 1:2 to 4:2 to 1:2 to 1. Yeah, it's nothing special, nothing difficult. Yeah, so you can see that even if you are looking for the 2 traits, the ratios are the same. Yeah, so nothing very special. Well. In the secondary school, you will learn that Mendel experimented with pea plant, and he has taken the 7 traits. You can see the traits here in this picture, and without further explanation, it looks like very easy. It's very simple. Just 7 traits, just the color of the flower, just the color of the seed. Just the shape of the seed, nothing special. Well, why Mendel is founder of modern biology? Yeah. Well, Versuche über Pflanzenhybriden, his seminal work. And now a few words about his life. The first take-home message: right people in right places. Mendel was the only son in Hinčice. He has a 2-year older sister Veronica and younger sister Therese, and it was crystal clear that it's Johannes who will inherit the farm in Hinčice. In time, it was quite normal that the father handed over the property to only son. But 2 first angel guardians. First, basic school teacher Thomas Makita. Second, parish priest Johannes Schreiber persuaded Anton to let Mendel study. Lipník, Opava, Olomouc, Augustinian monastery. Yeah? Mendel himself didn't see his success. He passed away as an abbot, of course. There were many speakers in the day of the in the church after his death. Many speakers remembered he was very good priest, very famous beekeeper, pomologist, meteorologist, etc. No one mentioned his experiment with peace. No one. So Mendel didn't see the success of his work, and his parish priest and his basic school teacher as well. So, well, his two sisters, Teresa and Veronica. Mendel himself, by the way, was very stout in the old age, so he had big problems with the obesity. Yeah. So now Hinchice, the map. I think it would be very good to skip these pictures. This is well-known pictures of the brothers and the priest from the Altbreen. You can see Father Gregor Mendel with a sprig of fuchsia. It's not pea plant, it's another plant species. The second standing from the right. And sitting with the cross is the, I think, third angel guardian. It's his abbot in time, Cyril Knapp. Far-looking man. He believed in Mendel whole life. Mendel failed in Vienna 1850 in the first attempt to do the degree, and Cyril Knapp told him, it's no disaster, it's very good, stay in our monastery and do whatever you want. He did believe in Mendel whole life, and he allowed him to do his experiments with pea plants. And by the way, Gregor Mendel used around 28,000 pea plants during his experiments. Yeah, so he could do whatever he wanted. Well, the second picture, Altbreen. So priesthood, and 1868 has been elected abbot. So now why Mendel is so important? First, well, I have found five reasons. Maybe you will find some other reasons why Gregor Mendel is the founder of modern biology, but in this lecture, I will present 5 reasons why Mendel is so extraordinary. First, he linked together mathematics and botanics. Now it's quite normal. I've studied molecular biology and genetics, and of course I have, I think, 4 semesters of mathematics, because now it's for sure that if you would like to study the genetics, of course that you have to study the mathematics as well, but not in Mendel's time. Yeah, it would be extremely interesting to speak about biology in 19th century. You may know the name Carl Linné, the Swedish biologist who in 18th century started of classification of the nature. The Linné's idea was bionomic nomenclature, that every single plant, every single animal will have 2 Latin names, let's say house sparrow, Passer domesticus, in Czech, Vrabec domácí. In English, you may know from Antarctica, some shek, some cormoran, ringed-eyed, blue-ringed-eye cormoran. In Linné's idea, it's Phalacrocoraps atriceps, 2 names. Yeah, every single biologist counted the hairs in the abdomen of the beetles, etc., and classified. Yeah, Mendel did not. Mendel joined together the botany and mathematics. Yeah, no one did it in his time. Yeah, and this is maybe the second interesting point from his life. Well, as I mentioned, he failed the examination in 1850. And his abbot Cyril Knapp told him, stay in Vienna and study. And well, very poor boy from Silesia, craving for informations, craving for knowledge, standing one day in the very good university with the possibility to study everything. And really, Mendel studied everything. He studied chemistry, paleontology, mathematics, working with microscope, whatever you can imagine, Mendel studied. And Johann Gregor Mendel studied the combinatorics, the branch of mathematics, and because of his stay in Vienna, he realized how important mathematics is for his future work. So his failure in 1850 was the brilliant moment, the most brilliant moment of his life. Yeah. So be very, very careful. Your failure can be maybe the best you can live, you can survive. Yeah. Because of his failure, he stayed in Vienna and he studied mathematics, and he could link together mathematics and botany. First reason. Yeah. Well, now I'm quoting the Czech philosopher Zdeněk Neubauer. Now it's no need to be a genius, just learning genetics. Now it's quite normal, but not in 19th century. Second, Mendel's predecessors had tried to examine a large number of traits in single parent. Yeah, no one thought about genetics. Well, generally, you have sheep and goats and maybe cattle. You have male and female, and you will see the progeny. And well, generally, you're looking for many traits. It's just one pair of animals. Mendel did it otherwise. Mendel sought the just few traits, just 7 traits in many pea plants. So he realized how statistics is important. Of course, that we know that if you toss the coin, the ratio can be 9-1 or 8-2 or 7-3, etc. But if you toss the coin maybe 1,000 times, it's generally 500-500. Yeah. So Mendel realized that the way to success is to look for just several traits in many pea plants. Yeah. So now it's quite sure, but in Mendel's time, it wasn't. Yeah. So his quotation from his work. Yeah. I myself, I reported the presence of 20 yellow seeds and 19 green seeds on one plant, but we know that the ratio is 3-1. But if you have just few specimens, the statistic doesn't work. Yeah. This picture. Well, this is 7 traits. And well, if you are looking at this picture as a biologist, it's chilling. It's something quite extraordinary because he has chosen these 7 traits. Every one from these traits is inherited in system 0 or 1. The color of the flower is either purple or white. In no time, rose. The color of the seed is either yellow or green, nothing between. It's so-called complete dominance. Now, of course, in 2023, we know what complete dominance is, but a general rule in biology is incomplete dominance. Generally, or very often, well, very often, the F1 generation is something between the father and mother. In By the way, in human genetics, well, there is several traits in complete dominance. For example, the sex. I'm either male or female, but try to find a plant outside the window in the nature with the 7 traits, and 7 traits are inherited in the system 0-1. You will not find it. Yeah, we do not know how it's possible that Mendel was so successful in choosing a very good species of plant, P, and how on earth is possible that he has chosen 7 traits with this kind of heredity. Yeah, we really don't know. Well, incomplete dominance, this is quite common in nature. Yeah, how it's possible that Mendel has chosen complete dominance in 7 traits? No one knows. Yeah, so third reason. Well, Charles Darwin did almost nothing about genetics, and Charles Darwin in his theory had one very big problem, and the name of the problem is genetics. Because if you see this picture, the idea in Darwinian times was the so-called blending inheritance. Well, the example of the time, you will mix the red wine and white wine, and you will obtain the rose mixture. Incomplete dominance. Well, but if incomplete dominance is a rule, there is no evolution. There is no evolution, because imagine the plant with the blue flowers and the yellow flowers, and the sons and daughters of F1 generation will have, of course, green flowers, the mixture of both, and all consequent generation will have green flowers. No evolution. No evolution. Mendel realized that the genes are something material. We will inherit it from our parents. They are living inside me, and I will hand them over to next generation. Yeah, I am just a ship, if you will, and I am taking the genes from my parents, go with my genes through time, and I will hand over my genes to my children. Darwin did know it. Darwin had no hunch about that. Yeah. By the way, the term gene and genetics it's a term coined in the first decade of the 20th century. Yeah, 35 years after Mendel's death. Yeah, so Mendel didn't know the term gene and genetics, etc. Yeah, well, if I did this research like that, I would publish it, because there's the reason that blending inheritance doesn't work. There's the reason that the F1 generation is looking like one parent and doesn't look like other parent. Well, so blending inheritance is not a good idea. I would publish it and finish the experiments, not Gregor Mendel. He did something extraordinary. He continued with his experiments to the 2nd generation. And now it's something quite esoteric, because you self-pollinated this pea plant. You remember the picture. With the paintbrush, you will move the pollen grains from the same flower to all sides of the same flower. So the plant species are much better than animals, because you can't do it with animals from obvious reasons. But here you have purple parent and purple parent, and you have white progeny. How on earth is possible that a purple color parent and purple color parent can result in white progeny? How on earth is possible? So It was really something extraordinary. And sometimes Mendel continued with the experiment till F7 generation, over and over again. Yeah. So this is something really good. Yeah. So, fourth reason. Yeah. Mendel was capable to do even prediction. It's up to you, because no one knows how on earth is possible that Mendel did so fantastic work. And there are three hypotheses. The first, he invented in his brain the mathematical model with the big P and small p, and just proved his idea in the field in experiments with pea plants. Second, maybe he just cross-pollinated the pea plants and looked. And maybe after a certain period of time, he invented the mathematical model. And the third hypothesis, maybe he started to work with the shape of the seed and the color of the seed. And after a certain period of time, he invented mathematical model. And the other experiment he did just to be on the safer side and to prove his ideas. So the model you can see in the right is the big P and small p, and Mendel could create the experiment how to realize if it's the big P and big P or big P and small p. Just cross-pollinated these three purple flowers and you will see. It's very easy. It works. It worked. Well, is the fifth reason? Yeah. Well, scientists and Fisher tried many times to replicate Mendel's work and have concluded that it must have been some kind of fraud. Mendel did not cheat because he was a Mendel. He was a very scrupulously honest man. We do know it. Maybe he's gardener, and you will see the statistic. It's like that. And you will see that sometimes it's really miraculously close to 3-1. But question maybe for you or to my students, the first experiment delivered by Mendel was not color of the flower, but the color of the seed. You can see it's 5,474 round and just 1,850 wrinkled, and the ratio is very close to 3-1. You will see the next, it's seed color, even 6,000 to 2,000. But on the other hand, just flower color is just 700 to 224. It's miraculously close to 3-1, and maybe is so beautiful that it can't be obtained from the experiment. So my question is, how it's possible that these two characters were Mendel favorites? The answer is very simple. If you look just for the color and the shape of the seed, from obvious reasons, you will see the results of your experiment in the autumn, in the fall of the same year, of course. If you are looking for the color of the flower, you have to wait till next spring, of course. Yeah. So maybe Mendel did these two kinds of experiments, invented the model, and maybe the pot shape, pot color, stem length, flower color, etc., just prove that it works with many traits. Yeah. So, well, Mendel developed his theory of inheritance several decades before chromosomes were firstly observed. He just mentioned the traits, but no one knew what is inside the cells. We are living in 19th century. Yeah. So, November 24, on the Origin of the Species, delivered by Charles Darwin. It's 1859. 1865, Versuche über Pflanzenhybriden. And by the way, 1869, Mendeleev delivered his periodic table of elements, and Friedrich Miescher looked inside the nucleuses of the cells, and Miescher found it in 1869 that in nucleuses of the cells, it's some strange chemical compound. It's kind of acid and making the threads. So it's in nucleus and it's acid. So it's nucleic acid. But Friedrich Miescher did not realize what he invented. In 1920, Levin invented the theory of the DNA. According to Levin, DNA is composed from the sugar phosphor bone and the bases. But according to Levin, the basic block block of the DNA is tetranucleotide. So you have just let's say alphabet with just one letter. It's not a very good chemical compound for creating some kind of information. But 1944, Thomas Avery said, well, I think that the material of genetics is DNA and not proteins. You know that the proteins are composed from the 20 amino acid. English alphabet is 26 letters. So the world thought that the material base of the genetics is proteins and not DNA. And in 1952, Hershey and Chase found it and proved that the genetic material, the Mendelian trait, is DNA and not proteins. And April 25, 1953, Watson and Crick published in Nature the double helix of the DNA. So 100 years approximately after Mendel, the researchers realized what are the traits. Now we know that the gene is the piece of DNA. Not every piece of DNA is a gene, but gene is piece of stretch of DNA. Yeah. So Mendel and Darwin, blended inheritance. Yeah. Unfortunately, Darwin did not know Mendel. All the monks in Augustinian monastery in Albreen knew Charles Darwin. Of course, they had the translation to German language. Unfortunately, Darwin did not know Gregor Mendel. We know it for sure. Well, Darwin didn't know German. So he didn't know Mendel's Versuche. It's a pity, because if only Charles Darwin knew Mendelian work, it would be a very good proof for his theory of evolution. Yeah? Because, well, of course, Darwin not only invented that evolution is. Darwin was born in 1809, and this is the year 89 in French biologist Lamarck published the book Philosophie zoologique, and Lamarck said, well, evolution exists. But he did not know how it's possible that evolution exists. And Charles Darwin invented the motor of the evolution, is a natural selection. Yeah. So if only Darwin knew Mendel, it would be much better for Darwin. Yeah? So, Mendel knew Darwin. And this is in the blue letters, it's one of the Darwinian idea incorrect. Yeah, Darwin did not know much about genetics, and his idea was that every single cell is casting of the gamulus. It's a very, very strange idea. And Mendel read it and writes in the margin of the page, indulge in impression without reflection. Sometimes Mendel was very, very, very ironic. By the way, Darwin was very intelligent and he looked very far. And Charles Darwin looked the nature in our modern parlance in the level of ecosystems. Many, many species of plant, many species of birds, many species of animals. Let's say Patagonia. Yeah, the ecosystem like that. Well, fossil remains in Patagonia are looking like the recent species of Patagonia. Maybe the fossil remains are predecessor of recent species, not Mendel. Mendel focused of just one species of plant, one species of animal. He experimented with bees, by the way. Yeah, so Mendel focused his attention in quite opposite direction than Darwin, and he was really brilliant because he started to think out of the box. Yeah, now. The perspective is beyond our fantasy. We sequence human genome. Yeah, well, we sequenced human genome in 2003. It's the anniversary of the sequencing of human genome. It's 50 years after Watson and Crick. And in the beginning of this approach is Johannes Gregor Mendel. Yeah. Now perspective, yeah, beyond our imagination, just well, take home messages. So maybe take home messages from from this lecture. Mendel's life. Good people in good places, teachers, Cyril Knapp, and well, I would like to mention the four angel guardian of Professor Franz, working in Olomouc, received a letter from Augustinian monastery searching for the future monks, and Franz responded, well, I have one very good boy in Olomouc, and his name is Johannes Mendel. So because of Professor Franz, Mendel moved to monastery in Altbrien. So you will not see the success of your students, but do good because good is good. This is the only reason. This is the only reason. You know, you are working for future. You will not see the success of your students or maybe students of your students. But nonetheless, what you are doing is very good. Second, Mendel's failures was his brilliant moments. We know that 1815, after a failure of his examination, it was a really disaster for him. He has a big anxiety. He never back to the Znaim secondary school because he was being extremely ashamed. Yeah, he went back to Brno, but because of his failure, because of his happy failure, he stayed in Vienna and studied mathematics. And because of his failure, he invented the methodology of his experiment with pea plants. Mendel biologist, second take-home message, please try to think out of the box. Join the different universe, botany, mathematics. Look from different perspective to your problem. Like Mendel, he was the first in the field. He did many extraordinary things. Yeah, 7 traits, all traits with complete dominance. I have no idea. We have no explanation how on earth is possible that Mendel choose this 7 mysterious traits. Yeah. Well, not to be afraid to think out of the box, unorthodox approach. He worked with bees and methodology, etc. Well, something very sarcastic because the Czechs are very ironic and very sarcastic. Well, many biologists try to build at least something in the high road from Brno to Olomouc to Ostrava, that there is a museum of Gregor Mendel without success because the clerks responded that such signs cannot be erected for personalities of only local significance. Well, and if I remember 2009, my stay in London and see what the British did with Darwin, it was a very sad moment for me. Yeah, so this now there is the idea to erect the kind of statue. You can see it now in Klosterplatz, now Mendelsplatz in Altbrien. If you look carefully, you will see in this statue the 9:3 to 3:1. This is the Mendel's ratio. And closer look, and 1 year ago, I have just 5 minutes. Yeah, 1 year ago, it's an ethical problem, maybe for you. Well, we celebrated Mendel's anniversary because Mendel is born July 2018, 2022. So after 200 of years, we had in Brno 3 Nobel Prize winners, and we celebrated big anniversary. So with the permission of Augustinian monastery, we exhumated Mendel's body from the grave and sequenced his genome. The ethical question for you is it a good idea or not? Just for curiosity, because he's founder of genetics, so it would be very good to have the Mendel's genome sequence. Ethical committee from Maastricht University agreed, Augustinian monks agreed, so we did it. We have the sequence of Mendel's genome, and well, we didn't learn anything special. He was a European. Y chromosome is Poland, Lithuania, something like that, and his mitochondrial DNA, it's Western Europe, let's say Czech Republic, German, etc. So European mood swings from use, we do know it, and proteinuria, cardiac hypertrophy, we do know it from his biography. So it's interesting, but nothing more. Well, the very last slide from his obituary. In his activities as an abbot, he won the respect and honor of all by his free-handedness, affection, and kindliness, so that he can be justly said to have had no personal enemies. He never denied help to any who applied for it. Prelate Mendel had a rare gift of being able to bestow alms without letting the petitioner feel any sense of dependence. So I think very good personality, very sensitive personality, very introvert, and with the enormous capacity, think completely out of the box, see the nature, let's say, from above, join the things together who no one dared to join. I think it can be the take-home message from this lecture. Look really differently, like Steve Jobs, like Elon Musk, like Gregor Mendel, and that are the reason why I think that well, we have 2 fathers of modern biology, and I think that well, the Charles Darwin in the second is the number 2, and number 1 is our poor father Gregor Mendel, man of science, man of God. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for excellent talk. Unfortunately, we are running slightly out of time, but I think we have time for maybe 1, 2 questions. And Dr. Vacha, are you fine?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You will be here for the so we can talk during a break and so on. So 1, 2 questions. Is there anybody going to ask now? Yes, Mario.
Thanks a lot for your talk. I really enjoyed the part where you ask if the model comes before, after, or during the experimental phase. But there is one point that I still think it's challenging, for my ignorance, of course, probably. In order to get to the experiments, he must have selected the dominant traits alone, and that's the recessive is pretty easy, but the dominant
is not so easy. So do we have any idea or how we could get to the pure dominant species?
Thank you for this question. I think it's Holy Spirit. Yeah, because well, in Homo sapiens, as I've said, as I've mentioned, well, if you think about dominant traits, yeah, it's a elope, for example, it's the sex, of course. But it's 5 or 6 traits, but nothing more. So how on earth is possible that Mendel invented these 7 traits with complete dominance? No one exactly knows, and I think it's really something extraordinary. Yeah, and well, to invent mathematical model for that. It's beyond my fantasy. How imagine that you are the monk working in the garden in the Abbey Altbreen. You have nothing to say to your brothers and to other priests and to visitors, to students, etc. You are very, very alone. You are very lonely. You feel lonely. You are doing day after day your work. You have 28 thousands of pea plants. You are doing something, maybe with the help of your gardener, and you are not able to explain what you are doing and why. After finishing your work, you deliver a speech without any applause, yeah. Well, you try it next time after 1 month, March 8, 1865, disaster. Any applause, and you will die as a abbot, of course, but no one is mentioning his pea plant experiment. And 35 after your death, some German, Netherlandian and Austrian realized that you founded a completely new branch of biology. Yeah, so I admire not only Mendel's geniality, but he's for me the man who is going step by step for years and years in complete loneliness, because you are doing something. Maybe you are laughing stock for your brothers and other priests, and you are not capable to explain what you are doing and what is the result of your work. Yeah, so there is some mysterious in Mendel's life, like the problem with dominance. We really do not know. He was very intelligent, very genial. Maybe he looked for plant peace during his childhood in Silesia, but he had to be so brilliant observer of nature that it's really beyond my fantasy.
Thank you very much again, and please join me in thanking Dr. Vacha. Thank you very much. And now we have some time for coffee break. So maybe the initial plan was till 11, maybe till 11:05. And then our sessions